Hello and welcome. My name is Alan, and today we will be doing more of the U.S. Constitution. Today we'll be doing the Second Amendment, as we are still working on the Bill of Rights, which are the first 10 amendments to the Constitution. All 10 of them came at the same time, 1791. The Second Amendment is one that causes a lot of consternation and confrontation. Let's go ahead and read it here. Amendment 2. A well-regulated militia, being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. So, at the time, we worked on the idea of militias. We did not have a standard standing army. Let me go ahead and put this into effect here. U.S. Army founded when? Okay, so technically there was an army that was established more than a year before the Declaration. Let's see what else it says here. I think the Navy was the only other was oh, U.S. Navy. 1775 as well. So we have an Army and Navy, but I don't think they were always freestanding. Let's see. Let's see what it says here in Wikipedia. The land branch, the U.S. Army, is one of 8 U.S. uniformed services and is designated as the Army of the U.S. by the U.S. Constitution. The oldest and most senior branch, the military, in order of precedence, so is the first one founded on June 14th, 1775, to fight the American Revolutionary War. Even before the U.S. was established as a country. So again, we're using these militias to fight and yeah, says the Congress of Confederation created the U.S. Army on June the 3rd, 1784, to replace the disbanded Continental Army. So even though the Continental Army wasn't technically the modern army, it considers it the beginning of the modern army. Let's pop open a link to the Continental Army here then. While that's loading, we also have the U.S. Navy being the other military branch that is the second oldest. Um, It was the Continental Navy is where it traces its origins to during the just before the Revolutionary War. We'll go ahead and open that link too. Which was shortly disbanded. Let's see, was established during the Revolutionary War and was effectively disbanded as a separate entity shortly thereafter. So that's where a lot of the formations of the Army and Navy come from. Let's see, Continental Army, which was formed by the Second Continental Congress after the outbreak of the American Revolutionary War between the British colonies and the U.S. colonies. So, when was shot heard? Yep, there it is. Shot heard round the world. April 19th, 1775, Concord. April 19th, 1775, Continental Army is founded June the 14th, 1775. So even up to then, a lot of militias trying to defend towns and stuff. It still took 2 months for us to form an official military, an army. But yeah, Continental Army was supplemented with local militias. So again, we're using militias in that way. Let's go back, Continental Army. But a lot of them were citizen soldiers. Yeah, Continental Army consisted of soldiers from all 13 colonies and, after 1776, from all 13 states. The colonial revolutionaries did not have an army when the battles of Concord and Lexington happened, and each colony had relied upon the militia, part made up of part-time citizen soldiers. And so even during the Revolution, the actual Continental Army itself was supplemented by militias. So, yeah. The idea is we have citizens who can help defend themselves and the nation. Now, the actual need for militias, Let's go ahead and get the link for this. Shot heard around the world. All right. Next thing we want to know is National Guard. Okay. National Guard is a militia force. This is according to Wikipedia, organized by each of the states and territories of the United States. So the National Guard itself is considered a militia. The 1916 law resolved the issues of deploying National Guardsmen overseas by stipulating that they would be discharged as members of the militia and then drafted into federal service, thus removing the National Guard from its status as the militia of the states. So it was considered originally a militia of the states. We'll go ahead and open that up. Pop this open as well. So the question is now, do we still need these other militias that try to hang around and do all this? I say no. But yeah, so there's still a huge question on how we want to use militias. And that's where a lot of the problem comes from. We have an established military, but militias, yeah, there's a lot of issues in this still. But I think if you do keep militias, they have to be, as it says in the very front, a well regulated militia. They need to be well regulated. That means they need to be run by the states. Otherwise, they're just mercenary traders who think they're, doing things for freedom, but they're not. But this is why the Second Amendment leads to so much of an issue, because we have a lot of people killed by guns in the US. Do I think there needs to be restriction on some guns? Yes, absolutely. We have restrictions on the First Amendment rights. You can't yell fire in a crowded theater. It's common sense stuff. But yeah. It's a tough nut. There has been fights over this for quite a while, especially in the last 50 years. It's become an issue of huge problems. But that will be all for now. As always, educate thyself, think, read, study, learn. Someone tries to tell you something you have trouble believing, ask them to cite their sources. I will be citing my sources in the description below the video. I'll see you all in the next video. Until then, later.